Hi everyone, not only did the new FM22 Winter Update bring us new Wonderkids, it's also updated people who originally, they're alright Wonderkids to these are must-sign players. So I'm going to show you some of the most upgraded Wonderkids from the FM22 Winter Update, all from varying prices, different quality levels for your different squads, and hopefully you'll all get something out of this and find a new player to keep your eye on. So that being said, let's roll the intro and get right into it. Hi everybody, Jake here for FMSCOUT, and as I mentioned, today's video is going to showcase 11 of our favourite upgraded Wonderkids from the Winter Update in FM22, players at different values, different prices, and hopefully something for everyone. Before we get into it though, if you'd like to like the video to let us know you enjoy this kind of content, we greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment down below your favourite player from the list, and if you're going to sign them, and if you want to as well, you can find my channel linked in the description. But let's get on with player number 1. So as this is a team of 11 Wonderkids, we start with a goalkeeper, of course. We've got to make it fit into some kind of formation. And one of the best upgraded Wonderkid goalkeepers is Anatoly Trubin. He was someone that originally had good potential. He had a potential range, but he now has a fixed potential in-game of 160. Now what this means is if you train Trubin right, he can go on to be a top level goalkeeper in pretty much every save, class as Wonderkid right from the off, has some great attributes all around, 6'6", very good physically, very good mentally, and very good in where you want him to be, goalkeeping attributes of course. He's pretty highly valued by his side Shakhtar Donetsk, so you have to pay quite a pricey sum to get him in goal. But if you do, this 19-year-old is one of the best options you can get right out of the box in Football Manager to sign for that goalkeeping position. Bologna's Scottish left back Aaron Hickey is another player who has had his potential ability boosted in Football Manager. He can now possibly in your saves reach a rating of 170, so you're going to see this guy becoming a top draw fullback in a lot of your saves now, not just the odd occasional one. He's good physically, good technically, and very strong mentally all round. He doesn't lack in too many areas, and he is a very good option both right out the blocks and also when he develops in the future. He's not going to cost you the world either. At around £20 million, this guy would make a good pickup for a Premier League level team looking for a fullback, a wing back, whatever it might be, on that left hand side. He's pretty versatile too. The former Hearts and Celtic man is perfect for that left back role, and I think he's one of the top signings you can get in that position in this year's Football Manager. Our next player is a brilliant 17-year-old Italian, Giorgio Scalvini, playing for Atalanta's under-18s team. He's a right-footed centre-back who looks very well-rounded from the off. Being 17 years of age, I think these attributes are very, very good. He likes to dictate tempo and bring ball out of defence, as well as not wanting to dive into tackles. At 6'4", with his attributes, if you focused in on his passing a little bit more, this guy could be a top-level ball-playing defender. His potential range has now been shifted upwards, so you're going to see better versions of this guy cropping up in your saves. He makes a very good player further down the line. His valuation isn't too high either. He's a player that you can approach a sign and pay compensation for, but at least in this save it doesn't look like he wants to leave Atalanta in this first season, but I think he's still a top option to keep your eye on and potentially pick up in that centre-back role. Another upgraded Wonderkid is the English centre-back from Leicester, Ben Nelson. Being a Premier League young Englishman, there's no surprise his valuation is so high from Leicester, but if you're in the lower divisions of England, he could be someone that you're able to loan in. Decent with both feet, very good physically, strong mentally, and some decent technicals as well. Doesn't blow me away really, the centre-back, but he does have potential to be very good in your guys' saves. 17 years of age, a contract that's expiring in his first season at Leicester, so keep an eye on him. Maybe you can get yourself a bargain on this player. I do think his technicals are going to need quite a lot of work, but his physicals aren't too shabby at all. So Ben Nelson is another upgraded Wonderkid. Now let's move on to our right back, and we have Wolfsberger AC's Amar Dedic. He is playing in the Austrian divisions for Wolfsberger, but he is on loan from RB Salzburg, so another one coming out of the pipeline at Salzburg. He's been a good Wonderkid this year, but he's now even better. He can play right back or left back, but based on the fact his right foot is a strong foot, I think that's where most people would use him. Physically, nicely well-rounded as he is mentally, and then technically he can pass, he can do a decent bit of crossing and dribbling, and he can defend too. He's a very nice all-round right back, not going to blow anyone away, but if you're looking to try a different option, then the Bosnian might be the way to go. At 18 years of age, he's got plenty of potential to improve, some good determination in this save as well. Maybe Salzburg won't want him when he comes back. They're blessed with talent, Salzburg are, so maybe you can sign Dedic for a bargain price, scout him, see what you think, and maybe you can pick him up in your saves. Moving into our midfield now, but before I show him off, I'd like to let you guys know I do have my own channel linked in the description. A lot of you guys have came over and said you've really enjoyed it, so if you want to come over there, show some support, hit the like button, I'd greatly appreciate it. I think you'd enjoy the videos. We do a Let's Play series with Wolfsburg, as well as some one-off rebuild videos, so if you want to check that out, all FM22 content of course, I'm sure you'd enjoy it. But back to the player, we have Gianluca Busio, the American playing for Venezia in Serie A. At 19 years of age, he's a bit older than some of the other players we've looked at, with 6 caps already for the American national team. Physically, pretty well rounded, same mentally, but technically he's very good in the distribution of the ball, with good passing, vision working nicely with his technique and his corners. I think this guy is a very good playmaker, or potentially a very good playmaker, should I say, and he's not going to cost you all that much from Venezia. There's also the chance that they could get relegated and you can buy him on some kind of cheap bargain deal, so definitely keep an eye on him. I think, yeah, he's probably not going to go for Manchester United or Real Madrid's first team, but outside of that kind of level, this guy could definitely be a top draw pickup, decent with both feet. I like the guy. I think he could make a good sign-in in your saves. What do you think? Our other midfielder in this team is the Brazilian Giovanni, who plays for SEP under-20s. We've put him in midfield on the thumbnail just to make a visually appealing team, but he can play on the right wing, and I think that's where most people will use him, with a good left foot to cut him from. Physically, very nicely rounded for a 17-year-old, not going to cost you all that much either based on the game's valuation of him. Mentally is probably his weakest area, where he does need a little bit of work, but at the age of 17 he's a passer that most players could only dream of being. Good corners, good crossing, good dribbling, all of that good stuff. Very nice technically and very good for the position that you'd likely use him in this midfield. He could definitely be crafted into a attacking midfielder or central midfielder if you wanted, with some of them playmaking attributes, but I would suggest most of you guys are probably going to use him on the wing, because who has time to train someone into a new position, right? But yeah, Giovanni, he looks very good, someone I might pick up in some of my saves purely for the fact that his valuation isn't too high because he's in the Brazilian divisions. If you can pick him up, develop him for a year or two, either he makes it into your first team or you sell him on for a pretty sizable profit from what, a £4 or £5 million investment on this guy. I think he could certainly be worth it. Moving on to who I think is my favourite Wonderkid of this video, purely based on the way that his attributes are spread out. It's Fulham's Fabio Carvalho. Now, he was already a player with great potential in Football Manager, but his potential range has been boosted after his real life performances with Fulham. It looks like Liverpool are going to be the people who sign him in real life, at least in the January transfer window. Things seem to be shaping up that way. You can see why the big teams would be interested in him though. At 5'7", good with both feet, playing in the Championship, he comes a bit cheaper than what he would if he was in the Premier League. English, of course, so many English teams are desiring an English Wonderkid. At 18 years of age, his attributes are very nicely spread. Good physicals, very nice mentals, and brilliant technicals. I think you're going to see this guy becoming a top draw player in a lot of your saves. It's almost guaranteed that one of the big English clubs will pick this guy up in your saves, and then he's only going to develop more and be a threat to you guys if you don't sign him straight away. He can play on either wing or through the middle or even up front if you wanted him to. Fabio Carvalho, I think he is a top prospect. It does say that he's English here, but in a save that I had a few years in the future, he has gone to Portugal as his national team. I think if Gareth Southgate plays Football Manager and sees him going on to represent Portugal, he'll be ringing him up to give him an England debut so that he can't move. But yeah, Fabio Carvalho, really like the look of him. Very good option wherever you want to use him. He's a top draw player, but let's move on to our final three. Another upgraded Wonderkid comes in the form of Largi Ramazani, a Belgian 20-year-old playing for Almeria, who are in the Spanish second division. I was going to say first division, but they're in the second division. Physically, he's a top prospect, super quick, super pacey, great acceleration. Add into that some good dribbling, passing. I think he makes a perfect, it's got him on the left side here, but he is right-footed, so I'd probably use him on the right as an out-and-out winger with that pace and that passing ability. I think he could be very useful, but you could definitely mould him into whatever kind of player you wanted. It's just going to be a bit harder because he is 20 years of age, so he's already developed a little bit more than some of the others, and that's why some of these attributes on him make him look a bit lackluster for a 20-year-old, but he's also stand out in a few areas as well. Likes to try tricks and cut inside from both wings. At 5'6", this guy is someone you'll be hearing more of in your saves now that he's been upgraded. A valuation of around 12 to 18 million pounds, but of course being in the Spanish division, he will have a release clause. In this save, it's 13.25. Don't know whether that's represented in every single save. Probably a bit too much to pay for a player like this, but maybe one who's worth scouting. If he has the high potential rating in your save, then maybe you pull the trigger, go for him with that release clause, and develop him into the top talent that it looks like he could potentially be. We've got another great Ukrainian player in the form of Yuri Sudhikov, a Ukrainian again playing for Shakhtar Donetsk. He's got a good left foot and a good right foot, can play through the middle as a striker or on that left wing. I think as an attacking midfielder, he'd do a pretty nice job. Physically, very well balanced, not lacking in too many areas, already 3 appearances for the national team, and his mentals are fairly decent but will need work, but his technicals do back up the ability that he could potentially have in that position. Dribbling, finishing, first touch at a nice level. His passing technique also looking pretty nice, adding to that some work rate and vision. He has the potential to go very far in your saves. Okay, on to the final player for today's video. Don't forget to like the video if you have enjoyed. It really will help in these slow January, February months on YouTube. But yeah, the striker that we've got in this team can actually play on the wings, but it's Mohamed Ali, who plays for Angers in the French First Division, but for their under-19s. The 17-year-old had his potential rating increased in the game. I actually just checked, and this is him on the lowest end of his potential rating, so you're not going to get a very good version of him in this save, but in your save, who knows, he might definitely be worth a scout. His attributes might be completely different in your save, but for me, physically, he is very well rounded, needs a bit of work in the strength department, but he'll get it as he develops in his years. 6 foot tall with a strong left foot, mentally fairly weak in some areas and good in some others. It's a real disproportionate balance between some of those, but technically he's got a good base set of attributes of things that he'll need to succeed in that striking role. Dribbling, finishing, first touch, passing, technique, all at a good enough level that you could definitely work with him and get something out of him. Probably not going to be a Manchester United, Real Madrid player, as a few of these guys might not be, but definitely someone who at full growth in your saves could really make the difference. So keep an eye on them all, scout them, and who knows, maybe you'll find your new favourite Wonderkid from this list. Let me know which Wonderkids you're going to be using after the winter update. If you have enjoyed the video, drop a like, check out my channel, linked in the description, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time guys. Have a good day, and goodbye.